Money was supposed to be a measuring stick, not a stretch band. A promise printed once, not repriced forever. But when the bill outgrows the tax base, leaders don't shrink the promise. They stretch the money. They did it with greenbacks. We do it with QE thesis. Different tools, same incentive, buy victory, buy calm, buy time. With a unit of account that quietly does the buying for you. In war, it was paper with legal tender teeth. In peace, it's a balance sheet that absorbs shocks. Either way, the first receivers smile, the late receivers squint at the price tag and wonder when the rules changed. The Union needed rifles, rails, rations. Now, taxes were too slow. Bond buyers demanded yield, so Congress wrote a new script into the play, United States Notes. Greenbacks, paper declared legal tender for all debts, public and private, except import duties and interest on federal bonds. A loophole big enough to steer incentives through. Merchants grumbled, courts wrestled. Prices learned the new language in weeks. The supply of money didn't just go up, the priority of claims got rewritten. Soldiers were paid, railroads were paid. Then everybody else adjusted to the money that paid them. You can't mint time, you can only borrow it from money. Issuance. Treasury spends first, apologizes later. Notes are printed, dispersed, and declared money. Hierarchy. Some payments stay gold-linked, customs, bond coupons. Others float in paper. Spread. A two-tier economy forms, hard claims and soft claims. With the soft tier learning to run a little faster to keep up. This wasn't just about printing, it was about assigning who eats the spread between paper and metal. First receivers, government suppliers, creditors paid in the new unit, crossed the bridge before the toll went up. Late receivers discovered the toll booth. Money is a contract about time masquerading as a contract about things. When Congress stamps paper as legal tender, it tells the courts, enforce this promise as real. Whatever yesterday's contract said about gold. That move doesn't just settle a bill, it reshuffles the queue. Debtors get oxygen. Creditors get a haircut you can't see in the mirror. On day one, price controls followed in the war's heat. So did protests. But the deeper control, the control of the unit, is cleaner. You don't need to police every price if you supervise the yardstick. When the shooting stopped, the argument remained. Should paper go back to gold at the old parity? Resumption. Or should the country accept a new normal? Politicians promised both. Hard money eventually, soft money for now. Business learned the real lesson. The state can and will pick the unit that fits the moment. The resumption came on the state's timeline. Translation: elasticity is a feature, not a bug. Once used, it isn't forgotten. It becomes the emergency lever that's always within reach. Cut to today, the balance sheet that makes storms feel like weather. We were told quantitative easing isn't printing. It's a swap, bonds for reserves. Technically tidy, operationally loud, reserves pile up where they're created first, inside the financial system, then ripple outward through asset prices, credit, and corporate plans. Bread notices later, housing sooner. 3 mirrors to greenbacks. Priority, first receivers again, dealers, asset holders, government balance sheets. Legal architecture, not legal tender this time, but a central bank put and a fiscal path that needs it. Two-tier feel, financial claims with a backstop, household cash flows that adapt. Counterpoint, the fair one. QE doesn't debase like coin clipping. It prices time differently. It lowers discount rates, lengthens promises, and shifts volatility into the currency. Exactly where fewer voters see it. Same empire problem, upgraded tools. Purpose, fund promises faster than taxes. Vector, push liquidity where the state's priorities live. War then, mortgages, deficits, and calm now. Distribution, early money meets old prices, late money meets new ones. Story, stability. Because stability polls well, the call is always humanitarian. The effect is always cumulative. Private risk sneaks onto public balance sheets. Then markets applaud until they price the applause. The 3 lenses, again, but this time with greenback fingerprints. Lens A, assets first. Greenbacks drifted into wages unevenly. Prices of storable goods marched first. QE's discount rate channel does the same for assets, houses, equities, long-duration stories. If your wealth lives in assets, You feel rich earlier than your neighbor who rents your confidence. Lens B, guaranteed buyers. War contracts then, entitlement math, and defense procurement now. Where the buyer is price insensitive, value discovers policy before productivity. Look for lines that won't go bidless. Those are policy's favorite children. Lens C, shorter promises. Merchants shortened terms in greenback days. Modern firms discovered subscriptions and indexation. Not because you love subscriptions, because they love adjustable cash flows in a flexible unit. Who wins, who pays? First receivers, government contractors then, primary dealers and asset holders now. They transact at yesterday's prices with today's money. Late receivers, wage earners and savers whose safe returns sit below the change in the yardstick. The state swaps a visible tax for an invisible one, calls it stability. The cleanest tax is the one nobody votes on. Homeowners call it equity. Renters call it being priced out. Investors call it multiple expansion. Savers call it punishment. Politicians call it investment in the future. Small businesses call it, my payroll just got harder. Same math, different vantage point. That's why the debate burns. It isn't about spreadsheets. It's about distribution over time. Objection, Your Honor. QE saved us. Grant the point. In crisis, plumbing matters. Without a backstop, markets can burn the village to save the hut. But after the fire, we should price the water. Elasticity buys time now and sends the bill later, not as a line item, as a gradient across everything you buy. Fiscal path, promises versus taxes. When promises win, money flexes. Term premium, if long rates won't play nice, policy often helps. Balance sheet rhetoric, temporary, transitory, flexible average. Translation, we'll be here as long as we need to be. Break-evens versus lived prices. Anchored expectations with unanchored experience means story greater than cash flow until it doesn't. Velocity and credit. Reserves aren't groceries. Watch credit creation, not just spreadsheet size, not a trade, a lens. What survives when the unit flexes? Upgrade your claims from cash to cash-flowing assets, from unindexed contracts to indexed ones. Shorten your promises. Optionality beats rigidity when rules are under review. Follow the buyer of last resort. If the state guarantees it, price follows policy. Adaptation isn't doom, it's literacy in incentives. Greenbacks, war, paper, legal tender, spread opens, courts wrestle, prices teach. Resumption later on the state's clock. Elasticity used, then kept in the drawer. QE, panic, backstop, balance sheets swell, calm returns, promises grow, another emergency. Backstop again, calm again, life not cheaper. We pretend money measures, it also mediates, it also obeys. When time runs short, the state asks the yardstick to stretch. And it does, silently at first, then everywhere. We didn't invent this. We inherited it. From greenbacks to QE, the trick is the same. Shift the cost from votes to units. History isn't a museum. It's a manual. Use it. If you want more myth-free market breakdowns, history as a mirror for the U.S. markets today, subscribe to Master Luxury Finance. Like, comment, and share this with someone who still thinks the unit never moves.